1921 restrike of an original 1852 Adelaide 5 pounds sold at auction for €992,000, equivalent at the time to approximately 1.567 million Australian dollars. 12 of these 5 pound pieces were struck in gold. However, 5 of those pieces were melted shortly after, failing to be bought by collectors for as little as the gold value, which at the time was £10. It is also worth noting that there are 2 5 pound pieces that have been restruck in silver during this 1921 period as well. The 5 pound die may never have been used in 1852 other than for test pieces. However, in 1918, these dies for the 5 pound piece were lent to the Melbourne Mint. Few pieces were struck, like the example in front of you, for museums and collectors. 1920 Sydney Sovereign, selling through the same MDC auction event in June 2021. This particular coin sold equivalent at the time to approximately 1.488 million Australian dollars. Early supposed that the 1920 Sydney Sovereign represented a relatively common piece, owing to a reported mintage of approximately 360,000. Due to large quantities of these 1920 Sydney Sovereigns being melted, there are only 5 examples known to actually exist to date. 1930 Proof Penny, selling February 2019 through Coinworks for 1.15 million Australian dollars. There are 6 proof finish pennies in existence, a vast contrast to the regular business strike, estimated 1,500 to 3,000. Coinworks notes that the Melbourne Mint retained one of these 6 proof 1930 pennies for their own archives, and when the Mint closed its doors, that example was sent to the Museum of Victoria, where it still remains. 2 other examples can be found at the British Museum and the Art Gallery of South Australia. 1887 Sydney Proof Victoria 5 pounds, graded NGC PR64 Cameo, selling Heritage Auctions USA March 2021, equivalent to 870,000 Australian dollars. This example was assumed to be one of only 2 held in private hands, an observation which still appears to be true, as no other examples have come to market since. The coin in front of you is the Denga specimen sold by Spink to John J. Pittman for a mere $700 in 1953, residing in his collection for over 4 decades thereafter until it was last sold by Akers in the late 90s for $103,500. 1923 Proof Halfpenny, selling February 2009 through Coinworks for 500,000 Australian dollars, loosely adjusted for inflation at the time of this video to 720,000. This particular proof halfpenny made its first public appearance at an Australian auction in July of '98, where it sold for 89,100 Australian dollars. 1813 New South Wales 5 shillings counter stamp on a 8 real Spanish coin, otherwise known as a Holey Dollar, selling via Coinworks, equivalent loosely to 690,000 Australian dollars at the time of this video. Known as the Madrid Holey Dollar, the only privately held Holey Dollar to be struck from a Spanish silver dollar that was minted in Spain, featuring the crowned M Madrid mint mark. Of the estimated 300s in existence today, a majority of Holey Dollars were struck on Mexico Mint host coins instead. 1852 Adelaide 1 pound. This variety was a Type 1 cracked die, selling via Coinworks August 2019 for 600,000 Australian dollars. Production of these coins was technically illegal. These pieces were made by the South Australian government to solve a currency shortage in the local economy at the time. By the time written request for authority to make the pieces had arrived in England and the refusal returned to Adelaide, the assay office had opened, solved the problem of the currency shortage, and then closed. The original die Type 1 bore a serifed font. The replacement die Type 2 had a sans serif font. Around 50 examples of the Type 1 variety are known, where there appear to be only a few hundred Type 2. 1853 7.13 gram proof pattern gold Sydney sovereign graded by NGC PR63 Ultra Cameo, selling in May 2022 by Heritage Auctions, equivalent roughly to 533,000 Australian dollars. The first sovereign, one of only 4 originally produced. Presumed unique in private hands, all other specimens are permanently impounded in museum collections. One piece residing in the British Museum, the other 2 pieces residing in the Royal Mint Museum in Wales. 1855 Proof Pattern Sydney Sovereign graded NGC PR65 Ultra Cameo, sold May 2022 via Heritage Auctions, equivalent at the time to approximately 333,000 Australian dollars. With 4 known examples struck at the London Mint, the portrait depicts Queen Victoria's hair tied with a Banksia wreath. The Banksia plant is a uniquely Australian shrub. This particular piece in front of you was an ex-quartermaster collection sold through Monetarium Australia June 2009. 1920 1 penny type 10 crowned bust square pattern, selling through Coinworks March 2018 for 295,000 Australian dollars. Approximately 200 trial square pattern coins were introduced to members of Parliament, the Treasury and various members of the public, minted in Melbourne and London across 2 denominations, being predominantly of 1 penny, together with halfpenny coins for the years 1920 and 21. Approximately 13 types are noted, struck in alloys of nickel, together with 3 unique sterling silver coins, namely of the type 4, 5 and 6 designs. The pattern coins were never officially put into circulation.